This is absolute insanity. Wizards of the Coast are still trying to speedrun their own destruction as best as they possibly can. Everyone's still mad. Wizards of the Coast are trying to save face wherever they can, but it's just not working out too well. Oh, it's gonna be a glorious downfall.
Wizards of the Coast have released a new OGL, publicly this time, but is it enough? The document has some really cool ideas, like a new Creative Commons for the core mechanics, and Wizards saying that it is irrevocable. But that is a bit of a sneaky claim, and we'll get to that. Also, there is no license back here to Wizards of the Coast, so they can no longer steal creators' stuff. Although again, it's a little more complicated, but we'll get to that. I'm gonna go through this stuff under the guidance of lawyers who've gone through the whole thing and given a thorough breakdown. Okay, let's look at what the license actually does.
Okay, so here's my prediction about this, because I heard that Wizards has announced a new OGL and that it's like 1 point something blah blah blah. Now, the thing with this is, in my opinion, that means that Wizards of the Coast have already won and there's nothing you can do about it. The moment Wizards had the ability to introduce a new OGL, aka put up a 1 point something behind it and say this is the updated version of that, they have won. Because that means sooner or later, step by step, they're just gonna implement everything they wanted to do at the first time this all happened, and it's just gonna take a little bit longer. But given enough time, and given enough OGL updates, they will implement everything that they wanted to implement in the very, very start, and everyone's gonna get absolutely hosed. I think it's inevitable, obviously.
Firstly, unlike the last horrible updated license that Wizards tried to force through without telling anyone, this one actually is a draft. It is public and subject to change. Nobody is...
Literally does not matter, by the way. The fact that it's public or is called a draft means absolutely nothing.
Signing anything yet. That is so great, but the first big hurdle is that this new OGL will revoke the old OGL if it passes. Tons of people are instantly not going to be able to accept that, understandably. The old OGL might not even legally be able to be revoked, and it's very clear from the people who wrote it at the time that they intended for it to be irrevocable. And many big creators have said to Wizards, we're willing to go to court on that. But focusing on this new license...
Who do you think has more money? Big creators? Or Wizards of the Coast? Backed by Hasbro. Who do you think has more money? Who do you think has more lawyers? Like, you're talking about a literal department that is probably like 30 people, 50 people deep, all concentrated on doing this one thing, and then you're talking about something like roll D20. You know, people who are probably gonna ask people to crowdfund their lawyers for them. I mean, I understand that the D&D community is absolutely desperate, but man, if you think that's gonna work out well, I think you have another thing coming for you, buddy, okay? Wizards of the Coast can literally win a trial by just extending it so long that the opposing side can no longer afford to pay their lawyers and their lives are destroyed. That's the thing. That's the main reason why big companies win in lawsuits, because you can extend lawsuits to happen for a very, very, very long time. And in that time, you have to pay lawyers. One side has lawyers on permanent payroll. The other side is literally eating bread for breakfast, dinner, and lunch every day of the month because they don't have money to pay to buy food.
There's something really interesting right at the start. Wizards are putting up the core D&D mechanics as a Creative Commons license. That means that anyone can use them and you don't need any license at all. Wizards are saying how they're gifting this to the community, even though they never really owned this stuff anyway. You can't copyright game mechanics, but that doesn't mean it's not really useful for creators. This Creative Commons has the rules about spells, feats, backgrounds, monsters, saving throws, and all that stuff. However, it doesn't include any races, classes, magic items, or D&D lore. So you could make a totally new spell, but you can't make up a new subclass for a paladin, or a new sub-race for the Kenku. If you want to do that, you have to sign the license. So
Damn right.
What are the important bits of this OGL? Well, firstly, it's irrevocable. It says it right there. That's a huge win. Except it's not really irrevocable. Anything creators make under this license will always be protected by this license, but the license itself can be withdrawn. Also, it says that if any part of this...
I like this guy. He couldn't representing things like they are. Because the average fan is just gonna, oh, it's irrevocable! Yay! That's a huge win. No, that's a loss. You don't even know it's a loss. This is how you get played. If you don't understand the fact that someone telling you it's irrevocable doesn't mean it's irrevocable, oof, you're just asking to be milked.
This license is held to be unenforceable or invalid, Wizards can declare the entire license void. So if a problem emerges, they can just throw the whole thing away. It is great that content made under this license is protected forever, but because the license can be made void or replaced at any time, the community can never really have any security using this license. You can't really make homebrew Kickstarters or patrons your day job if the license you're depending on could not exist tomorrow. Next, there's a big update to the ownership part of the license. You own what you make, and unlike other versions we've seen, Wizards of the Coast aren't demanding any usage rights to that material. That's an improvement, because with the OGL they originally tried to force through, they could actually steal your stuff. But there's a catch. If Wizards end up producing some...
Let me already explain to you the catch. I, by the way, have no idea what's the catch going to be. But the catch is essentially going to boil down to, they still can take whatever the hell they want from you and you get nothing.
Something similar to your work, and you can prove they stole it, you still can't stop them from distributing it. You can sue them for money if you can prove they stole your idea, but you can't sue them for injunctive relief. That means even if Wizards did steal your idea, and you proved it, and you sued them, and you won, they can still just use keep selling it. Then
This is literally textbook. This is textbook stuff that happens all the time. And the D&D community is, we're winning, boys, we're winning, yay! Cope.
There's a provision that all creators have to include a copy of this license in their works, just like with the current OGL. There's also an optional badge, but I won't be using the optional badge. Then we get to the big sticking point. Section 6F, no hateful conduct or content. This section says you can't include anything in your works that is harmful, discriminatory, illegal, obscene, or harassing. It also...
Harmful, blah, blah. Essentially, this is, okay, this is the probably one of the most blatant clauses that is 100% just there to just delete anything they want. If you made something that they don't like and it's getting popular, delete it. Why? I don't know. Illegal, discriminatory, hateful, obscene, harassing, blah 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 or whatever. This is just like a Thanos snap thing, okay? If they don't like something, bam, you're gone. Why? Because it's hateful. How is it hateful? Don't ask us.
Or harassing. It also says that you, as a person, can't engage in any content that is harmful, illegal, obscene, discriminatory, or harassing. Okay, here's the problem. Wizards have the sole right to decide what content is hateful, and you waive any right to contest them via legal action if they make a decision. Unfortunately, this cannot stay in the agreement as it is. Firstly, it's vague. What is illegal in one country might be legal in another.
Amazing. It's honestly like these D&D people are first time experiencing any pushback. This is what YouTubers have been dealing with forever, you know? Vague terms, vague everything. This is what Twitch streamers have been dealing with forever. Vague terms, you know, the ability to get deleted and yeeted any moment of the day. Yeah, this is just another day.
Being in a same-sex relationship is sadly illegal in many countries. Certain drugs, like marijuana, are illegal in the UK, but they are legal in other countries. So if I wanted to create an NPC in a Kickstarter who was a bisexual, ass-kicking, pot-smoking dwarf, that could get my license revoked. Now, Wizards of the Coast might not find that offensive right now, but leadership can change. Can my NPCs say the word fuck? Is that obscene? What if I had an OnlyFans account? Is that obscene personal behavior? I don't think so, but that might be a...
Spoiler alert, yes it is. If you have an OnlyFans account, you're a degenerate. There's absolutely nothing to do about it. It's not empowering, it's not anything. You have ruined your life. And if you have children or family, you have ruined your family's life also. You are a degenerate that deserves nothing in life if you have an OnlyFans.
Enough for Wizards to terminate my license. But even worse, because creators can't contest anything that WotC decide, if Wizards decide to take down a creator because they don't like them or the things that they're saying, that creator can't fight back. Can you think of any creators who might have annoyed Wizards recently? It is going to be almost impossible for creators to stand up against Wizards publicly if they know that Wizards can
this is what's gonna happen. No one's gonna stand up against Wizards publicly because Wizards is just gonna contact these people and tell them pretty much how it is. Hey, you play ball, or you become the ball. You know, that's gonna be a very simple thing.
End their license and cut their financial lifeline. Also, it forces everyone to adhere to WotC's own moral compass, something which could change over time. And this is the problem. This hateful
It's not gonna change. It's always gonna be about money.
Conduct part of the agreement, as it stands, relies on us to trust Wizards, not to abuse it. And given how they've handled this situation so far, I cannot trust Wizards. As one person put it, attempted murder is still a crime. And just because Wizards got caught trying to force through the original OGL to screw over the community doesn't mean we can just trust them now that they're walking it back. That original OGL was a mix of coercion and NDAs that would have gutted this community and taken a load of their money. It just isn't something that after Wizards have tried it, I can just forget about. The people who made that OGL, they still work.
Guess who's on the chopping block? Because again, worst case scenario for Wizards is people are continuing to make such a fuss until Wizards has to downgrade the OGL to something that actually is more or less reasonable. But again, then it's gonna be, well, currently it's the OGL version 2.0, then it's gonna be the OGL version 2.01, then it's gonna be 2.1b, and be literally on your soul. And we're right back where Wizards wants it to be. The moment I heard that they have already introduced a new OGL, I knew the fact that the Wizards have one. Mainly because D&D players are stupid.
Work at Wizards. The executives are still there. Their plans haven't changed. I no longer trust Wizards. So for me to even consider signing anything, there has to be no room in this contract for Wizards to abuse it. Then we get to the huge changes in the VTT section of this OGL. They don't prevent other VTTs from existing, but they do prevent them from doing anything that will compete with what Wizards VTT aims to offer. Wizards' own virtual tabletop is coming in the
What the hell is Wizards virtual tabletop anyway? Kinda looks good.
Real engine. It looks a lot like a video game. It's gonna have spell animations, monster animations, that type of thing. So anything like that coming from other VTTs, that is instantly banned under this license. To me, this looks like Wizards are trying to cut off any competition to their upcoming virtual tabletop.
Oh, really? You'd think a company would do something like that, try to win over its competition through any means necessary. Gee. Wow. Again, only a D&D player would think that this is something out of the box. Only a D&D player would unironically think that this is something groundbreaking. This happens all the time. You should have expected this, but no, you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. So you kind of completely were oblivious about the real world. It happens. I don't blame them. I'm just kind of making light fun of them because, again, I find it funny. Most D&D people, players, fans, enthusiasts are just gonna eat this up as a win, and they don't even know what's gonna happen to them.
It is a huge part of their plan to monetize the under-monetized D&D brand, and I think we can all imagine what type of monetization they're talking about in a digital format like that. Wizards say they're coming after anything that replaces your imagination, and they give the example of a spell visual effect. But that's kind of vague. What about walking animations? What about sound effects? What about costume changes? What about music? I personally think this is too limiting. If this license goes through, it will lock down all the other VTTs, while Wizards' own one gets to grow and expand with new technologies. Competition is always better for the consumer, and I would like to see Wizards show some confidence in their new upcoming system.
You can either show confidence in your upcoming system and lose money, or you could destroy any competition, and then it doesn't matter if your product is shit or not, because it's the only product and you get all of the money. Why try and make money if you can not try and make all of the money? This is such a simple question.
If this VTT is really going to be amazing and for the good of the community, then Wizards shouldn't need to strangle out the competition before launching it. If it's good, you'll make a ton of money without needing to monopolize everything. Again, just personally, but this makes me feel like they're not sure anyone will like their new VTT, so they want to make sure they're the only one in the space. But also, we gotta make an important point. All of this stuff is so much better than it was. I'm not trying to dunk on Wizards for no reason.
You see what I mean? This is so. I just explained to you how you get absolutely hosed and roased on step-by-step basis on literally everything, that you are just bent over and slapped like there's no tomorrow. You're just a little pay pig. I explained all of that in detail, and by the way, this guy's correct on all of this. And well, at least it's better than it once was. D&D players, I mean, damn. Hey, I'm not saying anything, but you know those D&D, you know those YouTube videos where they talk about disastrous D&D situations where people are just absolute pieces of shit, antisocial freaks of nature and whatnot? I didn't expect, there's a reason that's so prevalent in the D&D community. It's because you take it lying down and you say thank you afterwards. Well played, my boys.
All of this stuff is a huge step in the right direction, but I feel it is not quite enough. This license can be replaced at any time. It gives Wizards a free hand to suppress any content they don't like, and you can't fight back if they use that power unfairly. Also, although Wizards are implying...
Oh, actually, I'm gonna update my verse situation. So, this is the thing. They wrote this OGL in a very extremely understandable language, actually. Because if they want to try, they could have written this in a way that, almost no one actually reading this understands what they mean, and stuff like that. They could have used real lawyer terms everywhere, but they didn't. So, I think the next update is, if people are not happy with this, they're just gonna literally replace the easy to understand words with lawyer terms that you're not gonna understand, and they're gonna literally mean the exact same thing. And then everyone's gonna eat it up if they aren't already.
That there will be no royalty payments and there's nothing in here about royalties, that doesn't mean the future is guaranteed royalty free. There are two things Wizards could do to make this really good. Firstly, and most important...
No. This is the mistake people make. There's no two things that they could do to make this better. You need to make them make it better. But no.
Importantly, it needs to be fully irrevocable. It needs to be guaranteed royalty-free, and creators need to have the tools and power to fight back if Wizards shut them down without proper cause. Honestly, if Wizards are shutting down someone for their content, they should be confident enough when they do that they can handle a lawsuit.
Or... Why? Why even open up yourself to the ability of a lawsuit? How about you just destroy those people and destroy their ability to actually give you a lawsuit? How about that one? How about that one?
If they're not certain that they're in the legal right, they shouldn't be shutting anyone down at all. Secondly, the restrictions on VTTs are vague and overly restrictive. This feels more like an attack on your competition than a genuine attempt to protect the community.
I mean, that's the intent?
Give people a choice of VTT, and if yours is as great as you promise, then people will use it, and you'll make a ton of money. Wizards are putting out a survey for all of this, and according to the designers themselves, they 100% do read written feedback provided in these surveys. I was told by...
I watched a video recently about this from another channel, and they said something that is actually pretty common because a lot of big companies actually have this. All of those surveys, all of those, hey, this is where you make some kind of suggestion type of things. There are a lot of companies that don't actually read anything written there. And I watched a video recently, I think it was yesterday or something like that, about the fact that all of the D&D suggestion surveys that you fill are just there so you don't annoy them and you think that you are being listened to. I mean, it's a very classic move, but it's kind of funny, you know?
Provided in these surveys. I was told by 2 Wizards of the Coast employees otherwise, but when I reached out for clarification, what it really came down to was that these employees felt that most of the written feedback was ignored. I'm just showing that full discussion I had with them on screen.
Oh shit. This is different than what I saw, so this is not even the same. Admittedly, currently people are even talking about how Wizards of the Coast employees are not happy and continuing to leak stuff and doing stuff like that. So yeah, this doesn't surprise me. I think a lot of people probably have sources like this. But the one I heard about said that, you know, literally no one even tries to read anything that's in a suggestion or in a survey.
Now, to get to the bottom of the feedback thing, feel free to pause and read it. I failed to communicate their message accurately, and worse still, in doing so, I put a negative lens on the design team. That is a team of...
Oh no! The design team!
People who everyone I have spoken to have said is lovely and passionate and really care about the future of the game. So to
I'm gonna translate what he just said. Those people are overworked, underpaid suckers who management understands that they can abuse. Because they're not... technically, this is what happens usually in big companies when management just sees someone like you. Someone who loves what they do no matter how stupid it is. You don't even need to abuse people like that. Those people are gonna actually, by themselves, by their free wills, in a lot of cases, put in the extra effort, put in the extra hours to do something if they want to do it, and they feel like it's necessary for whatever stupid, arbitrary cause they are subscribing to. They're gonna do it for free. Those people are overworked and underpaid because those people don't require raises. They're gonna pout, huff, and puff a little bit if they don't get a raise. But, you know, you can easily just, you know, put them on water and bread and they're gonna still probably not ever leave their jobs. I personally find these people pathetic.
Jeremy Crawford and
this is how the situation, by the way, came to be. Because all of these people are pathetic. The ones defending this, the ones saying we win, the ones saying blah blah blah. None of these people understand what's actually going on and the consequences of what will happen if this is let to happen.
Anyone across the design team currently or formerly at WotC, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's my thoughts on the proposed OGL. Remember to let your voice be heard. As we've seen from Linda Kodega on Gizmodo,
if this is the best someone's gonna do, again, Wizards has already won. The moment they introduce the new OGL, it's just literally a matter of time until they can do and change whatever they want without any worries of backlash.
So the only feedback Wizards really seem to understand is voting with your wallet.
Oh,
but I still
really?
think sharing your thoughts on Reddit, Twitter, Facebook, etc. is really important, and I'm sure filling out this survey is also really important. Just don't let filling out the survey stop you from making your voice heard elsewhere as well. Honestly, I'm just so looking forward to going back to regular content again when this is all finished.
I'm honestly not. This is kind of hilarious. This is everything I expected to happen. Hey! Oh, D&D players, welcome to the fold of people whose favorite gaming companies completely screw them over. There's a nice warm seat right there. You're gonna love it, trust me. You're never leaving it, by the way. All of my brethren, hello. This is your life now. So you can either be mad about the fact that Wizards is going to absolutely screw you, hose you, and take advantage of you in every sexual way possible, or you can grow a spine. It's kind of one or the other. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Absolutely, I like this video. This guy, if we ignore the fact that he's like, okay, Wizards is completely crushing us, they have destroyed us, but I'm happy about it. If we ignore that, this is a really good video. Anyway, this was Wizards Since Then. Like and subscribe, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.